Hi, good morning, my dear students. In our last class, we studied about squares and we found some square numbers. How can we identify square numbers, perfect square numbers? But here, today we are going to study next part of the same chapter, that is square root. Okay, so what is square root? Let us see. A square root of a number is a value that can be multiplied by itself to give the original number. So let us see one example for that. If you know the square of a number, you can easily find the square root also. So here 4 square, that equals 16. 4 square is 16. So we can say that the square root of 16 is 4. Why? As per this definition, we got 16 by multiplying 4 by itself. If we get the number 16 by multiplying one another number by itself, then we can say the first number is the square root of this. That means 4 into 4 is 16, then 4 is the square root of 16. Okay, so there is a connection, that is the square of 4 is 16 and square root of 16 is 4. They are related to each other. At the same time, so how we found the square of a number? The process of finding square root is just inverse of that operation. Okay, that we will study in detail. But when we find the square root, that can be negative and positive, because we know that minus 4 into minus 4 also 16. Minus into minus plus. So minus 4 into minus 4 also 16. Okay, so the square root of 16 can be plus 4 and minus 4. But when we put this in a symbol, that is called a radical. Okay, so if you write this inside this square root of 16, we have one answer. That should be positive value. Remember that. Okay, so for finding a square of a number, we use some different methods. For finding the square root also, we have to use some different methods that we will see today. Okay. Okay, let us see the first method that we are going to use for finding the square root of a number, that is repeated subtraction. So you know that you studied in last class, the sum of first n odd numbers is n square. So every square number can be expressed as the sum of successive odd numbers, natural numbers starting from 1. The same way, if we subtract that odd numbers from that square, we will get the square root of that. So let us see here 4 square. So first odd number is 1, 3, 5 plus 7. These are the first 4 odd numbers and we got answer 16. So 4 square is what? The sum of first 4 odd numbers. The same way, if we subtract these odd numbers from 16, we will get 4. Okay, so that is the thing that we are using repeated subtraction. Okay, just to see one number, 25. We want to find the square root of 25. So we are subtracting 1 from that. We got 24. Then from 24 we are subtracting the second odd number, that is 3. 21. Then from 21 we are subtracting the third odd number, that is 5. That is 16. Then 16 minus next odd number 7. Then 9. Then 9 minus next odd number 9. Then we got 0. So from 25 we subtracted that first 5 odd numbers. That is why the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 25 equals 5. Why? For getting 0, we used the first 5 steps, or we subtracted first 5 odd numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On our 5th step, we got answer. That is why the square root of 25 is 5. If we take 81, we will get answer 0 in the 9th step. So the square root of 81 will be 9. So that method, that is repeated subtraction, that also can be used for finding square root. So our next method for finding square root is prime factorization. We know that the repeated subtraction, subtracting odd numbers from the number, if it is a bigger number, it will take too much time to solve that. and we need more space in our notebook also. So we can use one another method, prime factorization. So you know that how to factorize, you studied that in small classes. Okay, so let us see, we can take one number 256. How can we factorize that 256? Okay, so here the smallest prime number, so here we can use 2. 1, 2 2s are 4 and 16, 8. Again with 2. 6 2s are 12, 4 2s are, then again 2. 3, 2. Then again 2. 1, 12, 16. Then 2, 8, 2, 4, 2, 2. The smallest number we got. Okay, so here we can write 256, it's a factors, we can write 2 into 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 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are the factors of 256. Now our next step is to pair this. So we have to make it as pairs. Choose a pair. If all factors can be made into groups of pairs, then only we can say that is a perfect square. If we are not getting a pair for one number, that is not perfect square. So first step we have to check that is a perfect square or not. It is 256 by pairing that. Okay. Next we are taking from each pair one each. That is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. Okay, from each pair, 1 each we have taken. 2 into 2, 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. So, the square root of 256 equals 16. How we got? First we factorized that, then we wrote the factors here, then we paired that, okay, to each group, and from each group we have to select 1 each, and we multiplied that, we got the square root of that number. That is the method that can be used, that is prime factorization method. Okay? Okay, we studied how can we find the square root of a perfect square number by using prime factorization. For using these methods all, we have to get a perfect square number. Then only we will be able to solve that. If a number is not perfect square, how can we make that into a perfect square and find the square root? So here one question. Find the smallest whole number by which 252 should be multiplied so as to get a perfect square number. Here this 252 is not a perfect square. The last digit is 2. It is not a perfect square. So how we can make this 252 into a perfect square? By multiplying the smallest number. Which is smallest number? We have to multiply this number to get a perfect square. So first we can factorize that. So 252 by factorizing with 2. 1, 2 2s are 4, 6, 12, then with 2, 6, 3. Then with the 3, 2, 1. Then again with 3, 7. So again we cannot factorize. So these are the factors. Let us see 252 equals 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 7. So here we can make pairs here. 2's pair we got, 3's pair we got, but 7 is alone. Okay, so that is why it is not a perfect square. So how can we make this into a perfect square? If we make this 7 also to a pair, so 7 is alone here. If we make a pair for 7, we can say this number is a perfect square. So we are multiplying this 252 into 7. So here also we can put 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 7 into 7 because we multiplied here with the 7. So here, now you see, okay, so we got the 3. So which number we multiply to make it a perfect square? So here we multiply 252 into 7. 7 2s are 14, 7 35, 36 and 17. So here 252 into 70 or 7 you will get 1764. Okay, so here the factors of this, when we factorize this, we will get one more 7 along with this. Okay, so the factors of 1764 is same. 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 7 into 7. Because we multiplied here with 7, so our factors also we will get one more 7, and here 7 is paired and 3. So here the square root of 1764, how? 2 into 3 into 7. Okay, 3 2s are 6, 6 7s are 42. So first we check, first we factorize this 252. By that time we found that here 7 is alone, it has no pair. So that is why we have to multiply with the 7. We have to give, or we have to make this 7 as a pair by multiplying by 7. Okay, then both sides here 252, if we multiply with the 7, we will get 1764. This is a perfect square. So how can we find the square root? Again we have to write and factorize. There is no need, because here we already got the factors of 252. When we multiplied with the 7, we got this number. So that is why its factors also the same, and one more 7 will be there. Then you pair that and select one each, and you will get the square root of the new number that we obtained. This is the way to find. At the same time, this same question can be asked. The smallest number which should be multiplied, instead of that, which number we want to divide to make it a perfect square. So that time also this 7 is alone here. So we just remove this 7 from this. Okay, then we will get a perfect square. So you see 252 equals 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 7. So if we divide this by 7, this 7 cancel. Then you can see 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 only. So again 252 divided by 7. What we will get? 252 divided by 7. 3, 21, 42, 6, 36. So here 36 equals 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. So pairing that and taking 2 into 3. So the square root of 36 is 6. Okay, so the step we used for finding a number which should be multiplied to get the same way, we can find the number which we want to divide also. Which number is alone there, which number is extra, that number we have to divide, and we have to avoid that number from that fraction. Then you will get a perfect square. So here by dividing 7, we got 36, its square root is 6. Okay? Okay students, now you studied two methods for finding square root of a given number, that are repeated subtraction, okay, and prime factorization, these two methods. So when we get some bigger numbers, 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit numbers, that two methods will take too much time to solve that. We can do that, but it will take a lot of time for solving that. So that is why we have a permanent solution for that. That is the third method that we are using, division method. Okay, for any number, 5-digit, 6-digit number, any number, we can use this method and we can find it. In your senior classes, you are going to use this method. Okay, you study well, and I will just explain that. Okay, so just to see that the first number that we are, one 3-digit number we are going to solve, 625. Okay, so using division method, so we are dividing that. So here, first step that you want to do is, from the ones place, you have to separate two digits each. Okay, so here 25, two last 2 digits. But for 6 there is no number, that is why it is alone. It is 3 digit. If it is 4 digit number, two each, section we can make. So just to see the 6. With which number we want to divide this 6 to get 6. But here we know that we can divide by 3. 3 2s are 6. But here we want to take a square. That means 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 4 into 4, such numbers only. So here which is the largest number as a square? Here 2. 2 2s are 4. Here and divisor and quotient both should be same number, that is why it is square, 2 is square 4. So 2 is the remainder. Our next step is to take this 25. That is why I told you it should separate 2 each. This 225 we have to bring down. Now we go to 225. Our next step is what? Double the divisor. What was the divisor here? 2. Double it, or 2 plus 2, like that also you can find. Double it. What you will get? 4. 4 you have to write here only. You have to leave a space here for writing one number. Okay, so doubling the divisor and you got 4. Which number we are writing? The same number we have to write in the quotient and multiply that quotient by this number. We have to get the answer for this. Understood? So figure 1 we are writing 41 into 1. If you write here 2, 42 into 2. If it is 3, 43 into 3. If it is 4, 44 into 4. This is the way. Okay, so which will be the quotient that here? Which number? 40. I think last digit is 5. Directly we can use 5. Okay, so 45 into 5. This 5 we have to write here, here also. Just to check, 5 5s are 25, then 225. Okay, so here 225 and we got 0. So that is a perfect square. Okay, then what is the quotient that we got? 25. That is the answer. So the square root of 625 is what? 25. How we got that? So 625. So we got that, and the last 2 digits we separated, and 6 we divided with the square number. 2 into 2, 4, and we got the 2 remainder. Then we brought this 25 here. Then double the divisor, or 2 plus 2, 4. Here you have to put a space for writing the quotient. Which number we are multiplying? Okay, 5 into 45. If it is 6, 46. Okay, so which number? The same number here in the quotient also. So 5 into 45, you got 225, and we got 0 as a reminder. So the quotient that we got 25 is the answer here. Okay, now let us see one another bigger number. Okay, 4096. Okay, 4096. So this also can be used. So here these two 40 numbers, so you can separate numbers like this. So inside the 40, which number, which square number is there? We know that 6 6. 6 6 are 36. So reminder 4. What is the next step? We have to bring back down this 96. Okay, now we got a new number, that is 496. So first we have to see which largest number as a square. 6 5 5s are 25, but here 6 is the 6 6 are 36. So 496 we got. What is the next step? Double the divisor. 6 plus 6. 6 plus 6 is what? 12. But here we have to leave a space for writing one number. 12, if you put 1 here, it will become 121. We have to write that 1 here also, the same way. So here, last digit is 6. Which number will come? 4 4s are 16. 4 can be. Just try with the 4. Okay. So here, near after 12 we are writing 4. Then we have to multiply with the 4. This is the way. Again, 4 4s are 16. 2 4s are 8 plus 1, 9. 496. Okay, so what is the number? Quotient 4. Here 4. So 4 into 124. 496 0. Okay, so the square root of 4096 equals 64. This is the method. This is the easiest method, and this can be used for finding any number, any bigger number. Okay. But it should be a perfect square. This year you are studying the finding the square root with the methods for finding the square root only in the case of perfect square numbers. Okay, so in the senior class you will study other numbers square root also by using this method. Okay. So, okay, my dear students, we completed this chapter, squares and square root. So, in this chapter, you learned how can we find the square of a number, okay, and how can we identify a perfect square number. And we learned today three methods for finding the square root of a number. Okay, so different questions, different perfect squares you take and use these three methods continuously and practice well. Our exam is coming near. It may be in the last part of this month. So in your exercise, there are a lot of questions. Exercise 6.3, 6.4, this whole. You can see that there are a lot of similar type questions. So all important questions you have to solve that. So in your notebook, each section, each important section, I had solved one question each. The rest of the question, just to see the method that I used for solving that, the same way you can use, because similar numbers only, the method is same and there are a lot of numbers for finding square root and all. So you use the method which I used for finding the answer, the same way you continue that exercise and complete that as homework. Okay, and send that to me. So all of you prepare well. The exam is coming near. Study seriously.